Right now, the rating for tinnitus is 10% rating, but under the proposed changes, that is about to change, which is a big blow for veterans, and it's not for the better. The VA is planning to eliminate Diagnostic Code 6260 entirely, which means tinnitus would no longer be rated as a separate condition. Instead, tinnitus would only be considered as a symptom of another service-connected condition like hearing loss. And here's where it gets even worse, veterans. If your hearing loss is rated at 0%, you might still qualify for 10% under the new structure. But if your hearing loss is already compensable at 10% or higher, you would get no additional rating for your tinnitus or tinnitus, however you announce it. And I do not like it. There are so many things, veterans, that you can do with the tinnitus that you can secondary and that you can get service-connected, anxiety, migraine secondary. All of these things can be connected secondary to the ringing in the ears. So I really hope that this does not go through. I want to be perfectly clear. The tinnitus rating has not went through yet, but it is expected to pass and expected to go through. So with it going through, if it passes, it's a major loss of benefits for hundreds of thousands of veterans, which ultimately and unfortunately is what the VA veterans is trying to do, okay? So today we're going to talk about what's changing, what it means for veterans, will you lose your current rating, and why you should act now. If you're thinking about filing a VA claim, veterans, do not wait. Go and get seen right now. Go and get the help that you need. File ASAP to make sure your claim is processed under the current, more favorable rating criteria before the changes take effect, veterans, okay? Tinnitus has been a long gateway for me and for you. It's one of the most commonly filed, most frequently compensated conditions in the entire VA disability system. But the standalone 10% rating under Diagnostic Code 6260 is likely going away in 2025. Again, I said likely. It is not permanent as of yet that it is going away. What's changing is under the VA's proposed updates, tinnitus will no longer be rated on its own. Instead, it will only be evaluated as a symptom of another condition, such as hearing loss, Meniere's disease, traumatic brain injury, neurocognitive disorders. In most other cases, veterans with tinnitus won't receive a separate rating at all, which stinks, okay? So here is the VA's projected rating changes, new ratings and criteria, okay? If hearing loss is evaluated at 0% and tinnitus is diagnosed as associated with underlying hearing loss, then you would get a 10% rating. Otherwise, they would use just the hearing loss tables, okay? So the 10% evaluation is only applicable to tinnitus diagnosis associated with non-compensable service-connected hearing loss. Tinnitus diagnosis associated with another service-connected disability, for example, Meniere's disease, residuals of traumatic brain injury, cerebral arteriosclerosis, vascular neurocognitive disorders must be evaluated as a part of that disability without a separation evaluation for tinnitus under Diagnostic Code 6100. And tinnitus will only be compensated as part of an underlying service-connected condition, veterans. Under the proposed changes to how the VA evaluates tinnitus, Diagnostic Code 6100 specifically addresses the scenario where tinnitus is associated with hearing loss. Here's what it means for you vets. 10% rating for tinnitus with non-compensable hearing loss. If a veteran has hearing loss rated at 0%, recognized as service-connected but not severe enough to warrant compensation, and tinnitus is diagnosed as linked to this hearing loss, a 10% VA disability rating can be awarded for the tinnitus. This is the only scenario under Diagnostic Code 6100 where tinnitus can still receive a separate 10% rating, which is a blow for me and you. Otherwise, the tinnitus would be evaluated under the hearing loss tables. If the hearing loss itself is compensable, meaning rated at 10% or higher, no additional 10% rating will be granted for tinnitus, which stinks. Tinnitus diagnosed in association with other service-connected conditions such as Meniere's disease, TBI, or certain vascular and neurocognitive disorders will not receive a separate 10% rating under Diagnostic Code 6100. Okay, instead, tinnitus will be evaluated as part of these underlying conditions without a distinct tinnitus rating. Tinnitus will only be compensated, veterans, listen here, it'll only be compensated if it is part of an underlying service-connected condition. This means the VA will no longer provide a standalone rating for tinnitus. It must be tied directly to another recognized condition. Why this hurts? No more standalone tinnitus claims. A lot of veterans will lose benefits, and increased proof will be required. Veterans must now show that tinnitus is directly tied to a service-connected condition, which means if you're going to try to do that, you're definitely going to need a nexus letter and a DBQ, and making sure that you have an up-to-date diagnosis. This, in my opinion, is a devastating loss. The 10% rating for tinnitus has helped millions of veterans get a foot in the door with the VA where they otherwise would not, even without medical records, just because of the high noise exposure due to their MOS job or rate while they were in the service. The 10% rating for tinnitus has helped tons of people. Eliminating it creates a new barrier, veterans, that could leave many without VA disability compensation, which means you don't get access to all the full care that you can get. You don't get access to so many different things, which stinks. Those who do have tinnitus, you will be grandfathered in. Remember that. You will be grandfathered in. Your rating is not going away. They're not going back and looking and saying, we're taking away everybody's tinnitus rating. You will be grandfathered in. What I'm speaking on in these proposed new likely changes that will happen in 2025 are for you that have not filed yet. So get your claims in is what I'm telling you to do. Be proactive and act with urgency. The exact date for implementing the proposed tinnitus VA rating changes remains uncertain, but the fall or winter of this year, 2025, is the anticipated timeframe. The current administration is still reviewing the proposal, and delays or revisions are possible. After the VA finalizes these changes, there will be a 60-day cooling off period before they officially take effect. What does it mean for you? If you're planning on filing a VA claim, do it now for tinnitus. It's crucial to do it as soon as possible. Why? Because you want to ensure that your claim is processed under the current, more favorable rules, okay? The VA explains that the proposed changes are intended to better reflect current medical understanding and practice. Bullcrap. No, it's not. It's there to try to eliminate and take away more ratings, but of course they're going to say what is politically and bureaucratically correct. Current medical research indicates that tinnitus likely results from abnormal neural activity somewhere in the auditorial pathway, which the brain incorrectly interprets as sound. No, we were around toxic and loud environments, and why would you not want the people serving this country getting the benefits that they deserve, who raised their right hand, and many are in the ground? Why are you making it harder on us? I don't get it. I don't agree with it. I don't like it, and I hope this thing stops in its tracks. As a result, tinnitus is generally a symptom associated with an underlying condition, such as hearing loss, Meniere's disease, TBI, and other things, as I said, rather than an independent disease, which is not fully true. Tinnitus is usually caused by an underlying condition such as age-related hearing loss, an ear injury, okay, from high noise exposure, or a problem with the circulatory system. For many people, tinnitus improves with treatment of the underlying cause or with other treatments that reduce or mask the noise, making tinnitus less noticeable. And that is according to the Mayo Clinic. Well, I agree with half of it, half of that I don't. Previously, VA regulations may have inadvertently suggested that tinnitus is an independent condition rather than a symptom connected to other health issues. The VA's proposed revisions aim to correct this by emphasizing the medically supported view that tinnitus is generally a symptom of an underlying condition, thereby aligning the rating criteria with modern medical practices. Obviously, a way to not have to give any more ratings than possible. Your existing service-connected tinnitus for 10% under Diagnostic Code 6260 will not be affected by the VA's proposed changes to the tinnitus rating criteria. If you've already have a rating for tinnitus, you will again be grandfathered in under the current system, meaning your existing rating will remain intact. Keep going, stay in the fight, be proactive, get the help that you need. Look, if you need help, reach out. Get the help that you need. Make sure that you have everything, because if you submit a claim and you get denied, look, It is taking a minute for claims to go through. You could be wasting a year of your time when you could have got it right the first time. Get the help that you need. These benefits are for life. Get your rating in and try to get approved and connected for service connected for tinnitus before the standalone rating goes away. I really hope that this helps you. There's many other things that you can do off tinnitus, secondary claims. If you need help, a Nexus, a DBQ, reach out. Look in the description of this video. We are here to help you. We are veterans serving veterans. Like, subscribe, comment, hit that notification bell, share this out with someone that can use this information. And thank you for your service to our country. Until next time, I am out.